What's up, Henry? So when was the last time you saw her?
She was in the house.
She was in the bed?
Yeah.
When you went to bed last night?
I'ma still look.
Because you was watching her, Henry.
I did a little look around. I didn't see Bree.
Look, let me ask you something. If a child goes missing from your house in the middle of the night, what's the first thing you doing? Calling 911, right? Knocking on doors, screaming that baby's name. But Henry Dinkins, man woke up, saw 10-year-old Breasia was gone, and decided to take a drive first, then hit up Walmart, bought some bleach, all before calling her mother. And when police finally showed up, couldn't remember his own address, couldn't remember his own phone number.
Henry, you don't know where your daughter is, you don't know your address, and you don't know your phone number.
For real.
This is Breasia Terrell's story. And what happened to her will show you exactly what evil looks like when it's trying to act calm. December 4th, 2009, Davenport, Iowa. That's when Breasia Terrell came into this world. Her mama, Aisha, knew from jump that this little girl was special.
My shadow, she's amazing. She's a child anybody would want. I mean, a tattletale if you understand, but I mean a strong girl and definitely a fighter. She's not going nowhere without a fight at all. She's so playful, she's helpful, she's a big sister. You can be down here, you know, and she'll draw you a little picture just sitting down. She likes to draw, she loves to sing, she loves Moana.
Creative, helpful, the kind of big sister every kid wishes they had. Breasia loved to draw, loved to sing, loved that movie Moana. But more than anything, she was a rule follower. Didn't just follow them herself, made sure everybody else did too. Her grandmother called her a tattletale, but in the best way. This child believed in doing right. Now, Aisha and Breasia's biological father didn't work out. Happens. But a few years later, Aisha started seeing this dude named Henry Dinkins. They were together about 2, maybe 3 years. Had a son together. We'll call him DL to protect his privacy. He was 8 years old when all this went down. Here's the thing. Even though Breasia wasn't Henry's biological daughter, he raised her like she was. From the time she was 2 until she was 5 years old, Henry was there, playing dad, being present. So, when things fell apart between him and Aisha, it wasn't just a breakup. These kids lost a father figure. After the split, Henry pretty much disappeared from their lives. Didn't come around much, didn't check in. But Aisha had family, and I mean family. Aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents. They made sure Breasia and DL had all the love and support they needed. That's how Breasia grew up with such a good head on her shoulders. By 2020, Breasia was 10 years old, played basketball, stayed out of trouble. Strong personality, definitely a fighter. The kind of kid who wasn't going nowhere without making noise about it, you understand? Now, let me tell you something about Henry Dinkins, because this matters. Back in 1990, when he was 17 years old, he caught a case. Third-degree sexual assault against a minor, got convicted, made him a registered sex offender for life. Then between 2007 and 2014, the man got arrested 5 different times for drunk driving. This wasn't somebody who learned lessons easy. By summer 2020, Henry had a new girlfriend, woman named Andrea Colbertson, real quiet type. She worked from home for AT&T, and they lived together in her 1-bedroom apartment over at Jersey Meadows. Henry also had this RV parked at some spot across town. No electricity, no running water, just a basic spot he could crash at. June 2020, middle of the pandemic, right? Henry starts throwing these neighborhood cookouts, trying to reconnect with his son DL, trying to be present again after all those years of being ghost. July 8th rolls around. Aisha and DL are driving through Davenport when DL spots his daddy pulling into a gas station. Kid gets excited, points him out, tells his mama he wishes he could see him more. So Aisha pulls over, has a conversation with Henry about stepping up, being more involved. Henry agrees, says he'll do better. Then he offers to have DL come stay with him for the weekend. Next morning, July 9th, Henry shows up at Aisha's place around 11. He's driving Andrea's maroon Chevy Impala. DL is hyped, ready to go. But then he stops, doesn't want to leave his sister behind. Can Bree come? Henry says yes. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Aisha got another son, 13 years old. He also asks if he can go. Henry tells him no, says there's not enough room in the car. But hold on, the Impala is a 5-seater. Front seats, back seats, plenty of space. So, why'd Henry specifically want DL? Agree to take Breasia, but shut down that 13-year-old? That's a question we gon' come back to. Aisha lets them go. Why wouldn't she? Henry's family. He helped raise Breasia. She trusts him. Watches her 2 youngest climb into that car and drive off. Henry takes the kids to his homeboy Vincent Howard's crib first. They spend the afternoon there, playing video games, being kids. Henry dips out for a minute, comes back, then around evening they head over to Andrea's apartment. When they get there, Andrea's still working, at her computer, taking calls for AT&T. Breasia gets curious about what she does. Andrea shows her how everything works, and Breesia's fascinated. Meanwhile, DL is in the living room doing his thing with these video games. Back home, Aisha finishes her shift and realizes, oh snap, she forgot to pack clothes for Breasia. She throws some stuff in a bag and drives it over to Jersey Meadows. Now, she's been to this apartment complex before, but never to Andrea's specific unit. She gets there, calls Henry, lets him know she's outside. Breasia comes down to grab the bag. It's pouring rain that night. Their interaction is quick. Aisha watches her daughter take that bag and run back toward apartment 8, trying not to get soaked. That's the last time Aisha Langford sees her daughter alive. Later that night, Aisha goes home, takes a bath, falls asleep on the couch. She's exhausted. First night in forever, she doesn't have the kids with her. She's out cold. At the apartment, things are winding down. Breasia goes to bed first. Henry gives her one of his big white t-shirts to sleep in. Andrea lies down on an air mattress in the living room around 11:30. She can hear Henry telling DL to shut off the game and go to bed. DL listens, heads to the bedroom where his sister's already sleeping. Right after midnight, DL climbs into bed next to Breasia. Henry stays on that couch, wide awake. Now, at some point, around 10, maybe 11 that night, Aisha's phone gets a text from Henry's phone. It's Breasia saying goodnight, telling her mama she loves her, but Aisha's already asleep. Doesn't see it till morning, 2 in the morning. Henry gets up. He wakes Breasia. She's confused, probably half asleep. He tells her something, we don't know what, and leads her toward the front door. DL is awake now, watching from the bedroom. He sees his daddy and his sister leaving together. Hears Henry talking to Bree about cars or something. Andrea? She's knocked out on that air mattress. Doesn't hear nothing. Henry and Breasia walk out that door. Get into the Impala. At 2:13 a.m., surveillance cameras catch that maroon Chevy heading north on Schmidt Road. 13 minutes later, another camera picks it up on Eastern Avenue. Then another one on Judson Court. At 2:29 a.m., a camera captures headlights leaving the parking lot where Henry's RV is parked. Now remember, that RV ain't got no electricity, no running water, just a bed and some storage space. But what investigators did find later was bottles of bleach, cleaning supplies, and a machete hidden on top of the microwave. Between 2:51 and 2:53 a.m., surveillance shows a sedan matching the Impala entering Credit Island, this remote wooded area with a pond. 2 minutes later, same car leaves. Back at the apartment, Andrea wakes up at 3 o'clock to use the bathroom. She glances toward the bedroom. She ain't got her glasses on, so everything's blurry, can't see clearly. She reaches for her glasses, feels around the bed. Breasia is gone. Andrea's stomach drops. She starts looking around the whole apartment. Bathroom, kitchen, living room, bedroom again. Nothing. Henry's gone too. She grabs her phone to call him. That's when she notices his phone is sitting right there on the counter. He left it. She tries calling anyway, even though she knows it ain't gonna ring nowhere but that kitchen. Voicemail. She tries again. Voicemail. Andrea doesn't go back to sleep. Can't. She sits in that dark living room, waiting, sick with worry about where this man is and where that little girl is. At 3:30 a.m., she hears footsteps coming up the stairs. Soft, careful, like somebody trying not to wake nobody up. Henry appears at the top. And listen, he's wearing completely different clothes now. When he left, he had on a white tank top and some colorful shorts. Now he's in a white t-shirt, blue shorts with a bandana pattern, and sneakers. Andrea starts hitting him with questions. Where were you? What's going on? Where's Bree? Henry doesn't say nothing, just walks right past her into the bedroom closet, grabs something, tucks it into his waistband. Andrea can't see what it is, but prosecutors later said they believe it was his gun. She moves to the window, looks out into the parking lot, and there she is, Breasia standing outside by the car, alive. Relief washes over Andrea. The girl's okay. She's with Henry. Everything's, well, it ain't fine, but at least Breesia's safe, right? Wrong. Henry walks back out that apartment with Breasia. They get in the car. At 3:33 a.m., and we know this because of surveillance footage, Henry pulls into a gas station. He told police later he just went to buy cigarettes, but the cameras don't lie. Man pumped $35 worth of gas, paid cash so there wouldn't be no card trail. From there, Henry drives Breasia back out to Credit Island. He parks the car on the side of the road, tells her to get out, points toward the woods. In the pouring rain, he makes this 10-year-old girl follow him down a steep hill toward that pond. Once they're deep enough in those woods where can't nobody see them, can't nobody hear them, Henry Dinkins shoots Breasia Terrell twice. One bullet goes through her jaw, travels through her spine. She dies right there in those woods. Her body falls into the brush. Henry leaves her there and rushes back to the car. It's around 4:30 in the morning now. Henry gets in, starts the engine, tries to pull off. But the car is stuck. All that rain turned the ground to mud, and the Impala ain't going nowhere. Henry panics, gets out the car, starts looking around for help. That's when a pickup truck comes down the road. Driver's name is Jared Brink. He's on his way to work. It's about 4:30 in the morning, still dark out. He sees this dude jump out into the road, waving his arms. Jared stops. Henry comes up to the driver's side window, asks him to pull the car out the ditch. Now, Jared gets a good look at this man, close enough to see his face, close enough to notice he's about 6 feet tall, maybe 250 pounds, wearing white shorts and white shoes, close enough to see a mole on his face. Jared's got a chain in his truck. He crawls underneath the front of the Impala, hooks it up, and pulls that car out. Whole thing takes maybe a minute or two. Henry's grateful, real grateful. Offers Jared $100. Jared turns it down, says just do something nice for somebody else, and drives off. But here's what Jared noticed, and this is important. When he pulled that car out, when he was standing right there talking to Henry, he looked inside that Impala. There was no child in that car. Nobody in the front seat, nobody in the back, just Henry. Jared don't think nothing of it at the time. Man needed help, he helped him, that's it. Goes on about his day. Henry gets back in that Impala and drives back toward town. By 5:55 a.m., he's pulling up to Andrea's apartment. Inside, DL wakes up crying. He knows something's wrong. Andrea tells him to come to the living room, trying to calm him down. That's when Henry walks in, acting calm, like nothing happened, like he ain't just spent the last 4 hours doing the unthinkable. Andrea keeps asking questions, but Henry ain't giving no real answers. He tells DL to get his bag. They leaving. Andrea tries to make Henry take his phone. He initially tries to leave without it, but she insists. Take your phone so I can call you. He takes it. Henry and DL get in that car and just drive around. For about 45 minutes, they just riding through Davenport. Then Henry makes a decision. He don't go to the Walmart in Davenport. Nah. He drives to the one in Clinton, different city, probably thinking they won't connect it back to him. They pull into that parking lot at 6:58 a.m. Henry's still wearing the same outfit from earlier. That white t-shirt, them blue bandana shorts, and a black do-rag now. DL stays in the car. Henry goes inside. Surveillance cameras catch everything. They see him walk straight to the cleaning supplies aisle. See him grab 2 bottles of Clorox bleach. 81 ounces each. Same size as the bleach that was already at Andrea's apartment. He scans 1 bottle twice to pay for both. Pays with cash. Gets back in the car with DL. Now, DL is 8 years old. He's playing with his daddy's phone in that car just being a kid. Got no idea what's really happening. Henry drives them back to Credit Island, takes that bleach and a machete from the trunk, tells DL to stay in the car. DL watches his father walk into those woods carrying bleach and a big knife. When police asked DL about it later, that child said his daddy told him he went fishing that morning with some friends. Said he needed to go back to get something. But DL never saw no fishing poles, never saw no fish, just saw his daddy with bleach and a knife. In those woods, Henry uses that machete to cut through brush, covers Breasia's body with it. Then he pours that bleach all over the scene, over her body, over the ground, over everything, trying to destroy any DNA evidence. He comes back to the car, wipes down that machete with a rag and more bleach. Then they drive to Henry's RV. DL stays in the car again while Henry goes inside. He's cleaning up in there too, wiping things down, making sure there's no evidence. At this point, after he's covered the body, bought the bleach, cleaned the RV, done everything he can think of to hide what he did, that's when Henry decides to call Aisha. It's the morning of July 10th. Aisha's phone buzzes, a text from Henry. I just woke up and Bree is gone. Aisha starts calling him, over and over and over. He won't answer. When he finally picks up, he's saying Breasia just disappeared. They all went to sleep, woke up, and she was gone. Says he's on his way to the police station with DL. Aisha hangs up and calls 911 herself. Then she gets in her car to head downtown to the police department. But while she's driving, she spots Henry's car. And he ain't heading toward no police station. He's going the opposite direction, speeding through traffic. Aisha makes a U-turn, pulls up behind him, laying on her horn, calling his phone. When she finally gets him to answer, Henry's rambling about needing to go back to get his address because he don't know where he lives. None of it makes sense. They both end up back at the apartment and police are on the way. Officer arrives at 8:55 a.m., starts asking Henry basic questions. What's your address? Henry don't know.
Your mom?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you spell it?
AISHIA.
Last name?
Langford, LA. NK. FORD.
Date of birth? Address? Phone number? Okay. And Henry lives here.
Yeah, I guess so. This is where he told me to come.
Okay.
He don't even know how long she's even been gone.
Yeah. What's your daughter's name?
Breasia, BREA.
EA.
SIA.
BREASIA?
Yes.
Okay.
Terrell, TERRELL.
Okay. What's her middle initial?
D.
Her date of birth?
12/4/09.
Okay. What's up, Henry? So when was the last time you saw her?
She was in the house.
Yeah, when was the last time you saw her?
9:30.
Last night?
9:30.
Okay. Okay.
With him.
Okay. When was the last time you saw her?
She was in the bed when I woke up in the morning.
She was in the bed?
Yeah.
When you went to bed last night? Okay.
This is crazy, man. This is like, you know what I'm saying? I know she's hysterical, big brother.
Yeah. DIN.
KINS.
Your date of birth, Henry?
August 2nd, 72.
Is this your home address?
No.
What's your address?
It's down by Boston Marina.
Just a guy. Just.
Yeah, I just know that. I
You don't know your
I don't know the
address?
full address.
Do you know your phone number?
Hell no, I don't even know that either. I swear to God, I don't.
Henry, you don't know where your daughter is. You don't know your address, and you don't know your phone
no,
number.
No, for real. I'm finna
So,
give it to
buddy,
you now. You think I'll be lying, but
well, no, it's just it's kind of.
because I don't call myself.
I know, but you got to know your number. You got to know your address.
I don't.
So this is your girlfriend's address here?
Just a good friend.
Okay.
Okay, here go my phone number right here.
I bet people have been banging on it.
4078.
4078.
Okay. What was she last wearing?
In the bed.
What she have on? Some shorts?
What color?
I don't remember. I mean, I'm not gonna even lie to you. I don't.
What's her height and weight? You think?
She's a little taller than he is.
She's just
Okay.
She's a little taller than that. She's probably about like this here.
Okay. What's her hair look like?
she had
Brownish,
dreads. Long.
dreads.
Long.
Long and dreads hair?
Yep.
Like shoulder length or
Down.
middle of the back?
Down here.
Okay. Mid back, dreads. Right? Is that how we would
Yes.
label that?
Yes.
She had shorts on.
Did she still have a white shirt on?
She had she had the shirt that you gave her.
The white shirt.
All white?
It's
White,
long.
all white t-shirt. Yep.
And you guys don't have alarms or anything on your doors if the door's open?
No.
Okay.
You should get one. You should get one.
It's too late.
And
Talking about getting one.
listen, I know this sounds dumb. I've lost my kids too.
Right.
Okay. Actually, mine just happened last week, and we went back in and we found them in the bedroom.
No, we just searched.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to who have you called? What doors have you knocked on?
I don't know these people out here.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I called her.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And she told me she was at work. At first, I was riding around looking. And then me and my son started riding around looking.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then
So how long ago has it been an hour?
it's been a couple hours.
Couple hours?
Couple hours.
Okay.
Couple hours.
Have we called grandmas? Have we called cousins?
That's what I just asked. She the one. I don't know all that. She knows all that.
She called my grandma already.
She
Okay.
knows all that, not me.
Okay. Do we have a picture?
She does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mom.
Yeah. She got the picture, bro.
Who's the girl that lives here?
Andrea.
Andrea? What's Andrea's last name?
Culberson.
Culberson.
He need a picture of her.
I ain't got nothing.
You don't have nothing with you right now. Okay, that's fine. Have we called family?
I've called everybody. I have my
Okay.
uncle out riding around. My mom's
Man,
on her way out here. My
We've been
friend's on their way
everywhere.
out
We've
here.
been everywhere.
And she's gonna be with a friend inside some apartment,
That's
most
why I
likely.
just said I'm gonna still look.
Okay.
We don't know anybody out here, though. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
She would have never. She would have never. First of all, she would have never woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and she would have never.
What you mean? 8
she
o'clock
would-
in the morning.
I'm just saying.
That ain't what I
She
said. I
definitely
never
would- I know
said.
you
Guys,
didn't say that.
this isn't the time to fight.
Exactly. I don't give a about you walking. You lost her though.
How did you lose?
Because you was watching her, Henry. What do you mean?
But hey,
I'm gone, sir. Come on, D.
listen to me.
I'm gone.
Well, you guys gotta come together right now. This isn't a time to fight about it. Okay. So, well, hey, if you, how am I supposed to? What do you want me to do?
I got everything, bro. I got nothing. You see how she stepped on me? You know what I'm saying?
I got no picture. I got no. What do you want me to do?
What am I supposed to do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
All I can do is
Henry,
look.
I get it. I get
All
it.
I can do is look.
I get it, Henry. Henry, let's go inside the apartment one more time. Look, this happens more often than you think. I mean, well, I understand why she's upset. But when I'm trying to help, she can't run away from me.
You can't
I don't want to
and deal with the issues.
Yes.
You got to keep a level head.
Yeah.
You know that. I learned that a long time ago. Huh?
104 and 105.
How many times have you guys stayed out here?
How many times have I been out here? The kids, this is their first time.
Oh, it's the very first time she's ever stayed here.
104 and 105. Start 4.
And so she
They've
has
been over here, but they never stayed.
She has never stayed here.
Take the daughter out.
Like I said,
So I wonder just.
The daughter saying she was assaulted by the mom, and that the mom is not allowing her to get her things.
I mean,
this is such a small. She's not in our look. She's gonna open the door, man. She's gonna open.
what's her name?
She's gonna open.
Hi there. Are you Andrea?
Yeah.
Okay, Andrea. What's your date of birth, Andrea?
9383.
9383. And this is 2744, number 8.
Yeah.
And what's your phone number?
563.
Yep. So tell me about, like, when was the last time you saw her?
She was here.
When?
What time was I? Probably sleeping like around 11 midnight. She was here. She was in bed sleeping.
Okay. And you guys never heard her come down, walk out? There's no forced entry or anything like that?
No forced entry, no.
Okay. Do you mind if I just come in and take a quick look? I'm not concerned about anything else. I just want to come in because probably 50% of the time we still find them inside the place when this happens. And
Well, I kind of do my face kind of wreck right now.
what's that?
My face is kind of in a wreck, but...
Listen, I go on all sorts of places. I don't care how big.
Is he aware of this?
What's that?
Is he aware of this?
Yeah. What's her name again?
Bree.
Was there any fights or arguments or anything last night? Bree is her name? Where was she sleeping at? Your bed? So where were you guys sleeping at last night? You guys slept out here? Oh. You look in the closet again? Huh?
In the closet somewhere. That's all clothes.
I don't know, I'm just telling you, you'd be surprised what we've...
I know, right?
So she was sleeping in the bed with her brother? Mm-hmm. And you guys slept out here? Okay. What time did you guys wake up?
Now, I was still asleep. I don't know what time everybody else got up.
Well, what time did you wake up?
Oh, goodness, I can't. Honestly, I cannot remember what time I was.
Okay, like 30 minutes ago, 2 hours ago? 2 hours ago? Okay. Hey, does she have any friends out here? Like, has she ever played with any of the neighbors?
No, not at all.
Okay, are you gonna come out and help look or not?
Give me 1 second.
Have we called family?
I've called everybody. I have my
Okay.
uncle out riding around. My mom's on her way out here. My
We've been
friends on their way
everywhere.
out
We've
here.
been every
Okay.
fucking way.
And she's gonna be with a friend inside some apartment,
That's
most
why I
likely.
just said I'm gonna still look.
Okay.
We don't know anybody out here though. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
She would have never.
How many-
She would have never. First of all, she would have never woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and she would have never.
What you mean?
she
8 o'clock in the
I'm
morning.
just saying.
That ain't what I
She
said. I
definitely-
never
I
said
know
that.
you
guys,
didn't say
guys,
that.
this isn't the time to fight.
Exactly. I don't give a fuck about you walking,
Hey,
nigga.
listen,
You
man.
lost her though.
How did I fucking lose?
Because you was watching her, Henry. What the fuck do you mean?
But
Aisha then decides to walk away, leaving the officer flabbergasted as to how to help them.
hey,
I'm gone, sir. Come on, D.
listen to me.
Fuck that. I'm gone.
Well, you guys gotta come together right now. This isn't a time to fight about it. Okay? So, well, hey, if you... Well, how am I supposed to... What do you want me to do?
I got everything, bro. I got nothing. You see how she stepped on me? You know what
I
I'm saying?
mean,
I
got no picture. I got no... What do you want me to do?
What am I supposed to do? You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
I
All
get
thing
it.
I can do is
Henry,
look.
I get it. I
All
get
I
it.
can do is look.
I get it, Henry.
When's the last time you saw her? What was she wearing? Can't remember for sure. Think she had on some shorts. What color? Don't remember. How tall is she? Maybe a little taller than DL. What about her hair? Long dreads, he thinks. The officer asks Henry who he's called, what doors he's knocked on. Henry says he don't know these people out here, so he ain't asked nobody. Just drove around looking. Aisha is furious. She's asking how he lost her daughter when he was the one watching her. They start going back and forth until Aisha decides she needs to leave before she does something she'll regret. Once Aisha leaves, the officer goes up to the apartment to make sure Breasia ain't just hiding somewhere. That's when he talks to Andrea. She confirms Breasia was there, was in the bed asleep, and she never heard her leave. The officer searches that whole apartment, checks the closets, under furniture, everywhere. Breasia ain't there. He asks Andrea to come outside and help look, but by the time he gets back outside, Henry is gone, just left without telling nobody where he was going. Henry eventually shows up at the police station, but first he stopped at his mama and sister's apartment. And when he gets there for the interview, he's wearing the same clothes but different shoes. Detectives start questioning him. His story is all over the place. Says he left the apartment in the middle of the night to go see a friend, but the friend wasn't home. When he came back, that's when he noticed Breasia was missing. They ask him what time this was. He don't know. Don't look at clocks, he says. He admits he left again to buy cigarettes. But surveillance shows he bought gas, too. $35 worth. Meanwhile, other officers are checking security cameras from businesses around town, and what they find is damning. That maroon Impala is on camera all over Davenport between 2:13 a.m. and when police were called. The timeline Henry's giving them don't match up with what the cameras are showing. Investigators also find out Henry's a registered sex offender who never properly registered at his current address. That's a violation right there. They arrest him on that charge while they keep investigating. Then they search his phone, find searches for illegal content involving minors. But here's the problem. They searching everywhere for Breasia and can't find her. Days turn into weeks. Weeks turn into months. The case goes cold. March 22nd, 2021. 8 months after Breasia disappeared. 3 friends decide to go fishing at Credit Island. They park, start walking down that steep embankment toward the pond. One of them looks over into the brush and sees something white lying there. They walk closer. One of them reaches down and picks it up. It's a human skull. They immediately see hair still attached to it. Can tell the victim was black. They call 911. Police arrive and process the scene. They find more remains scattered in that area. Find teeth. And they find 2 bullets. The medical examiner determines this was a young black female who died from multiple gunshot wounds. 1 bullet entered through the jaw and went straight through the spine. They run DNA analysis, comparing it to Aisha's DNA. The results come back. The remains belong to Breasia Terrell. Now, investigators can piece together what really happened that night. They got surveillance footage. They got Andrea's testimony about Henry leaving and coming back in different clothes. They got DL's testimony about what he saw. They got Jared Brink's testimony about pulling Henry's car out the mud at 4:30 a.m. with no child inside. They got Henry buying bleach at Walmart. They got the machete in his RV with white fibers on it from where he cleaned it. They got bottles of bleach in that RV. And they got Breasia's body found exactly where all that evidence points to. Henry Dinkins gets charged with first-degree murder and first-degree kidnapping. Trial starts in August 2023. Henry pleads not guilty. Decides he wants a bench trial, just a judge, no jury. Now, the prosecution got a problem. See, Henry did a pretty good job cleaning up. They can't find Breasia's DNA in the RV. Can't find it in the Impala. 8 months in the woods destroyed most of the physical evidence at the crime scene. But what they do have is a timeline that Henry can't explain away. They got surveillance showing his car at his RV at 2:29 a.m., at Credit Island between 2:51 and 2:53 a.m., back at the apartment by 3:30 a.m. wearing different clothes, at the gas station at 3:33 a.m., at Walmart buying bleach at 7:06 a.m., back at Credit Island after that. They got Jared Brink testifying about pulling Henry's stuck car out the mud at 4:30 a.m. near where the body was found, describing Henry's physical features perfectly, saying there was no child in that car. They got Andrea testifying about Henry leaving in the middle of the night, coming back in different clothes, Breasia standing outside the car, alive at 3:30 a.m., then both of them leaving again. And they got DL, 11 years old now, getting on that stand and telling the court what he saw. His daddy waking up his sister at 2 a.m., both of them leaving, his daddy coming back hours later and taking him to buy bleach. Watching his daddy take that bleach and a big knife into the woods at Credit Island, that child's testimony was crucial. Without DL, they might not have been able to put all these pieces together. The judge hears all the evidence, reviews the surveillance footage, listens to the testimony, finds Henry Dinkins guilty of first-degree murder and first-degree kidnapping. October 11th, 2023, sentencing day. Henry gets up talking about how he was found guilty before the trial even started. Claims it was racial profiling because of his background. Complains about his lawyers and the judge. Then Aisha gets her turn. She stands up and reads her victim impact statement.
Sentence in this case.
What are you supposed to do when you're told you can't even speak in court, especially when you see and know something ain't right? Logistically, it's like having a gag order, which prevents you from addressing the court with any of the issues. What if your issues are with the judge, the prosecutor, or the attorney? You are not allowed to put anything on record at any time of these issues during the court proceedings, unless it's asked the question of the judge, the prosecutor, or your attorney. What happened to the rights of freedom of speech if a person addressed a matter to the court in the proper proceedings? Even if it's in the same spectrum as if your attorney or your prosecutor are addressing the courts or any issues. Your Honor, may I speak to the courts? There are so many various issues people might have at different times of the court proceedings. I believe if these issues could be resolved between client and counsel, then there wouldn't be a problem. but that's not always the case. I'm only going to speak right now because this is my only opportunity to address the court during the closing of this trial, which is kind of too late for me. Even if you do ask your attorney to ask certain questions, sometimes things don't get done. I have a speech that I would like to address the courts with if the judge allowed me the opportunity to say the following. Let me address the facts about everything regarding my case. First, I want to know if I can quote case numbers or just saying the same, either or would be fine to me. Where is the justice in the judicial system, and how do you beat a system that is against you that's not playing fair? When I was in Clinton County Jail, I remember 2 detectives coming to charge me with this case. I remember the female detective saying, we're going to make you look like a monster when this is over. That statement was made during my initial report. Who is they? That's the million-dollar question that will arise a little later further in this reading. I'm only going to speak facts. To be honest, I was already found guilty before this case and trial already began. I can see it as racial profiling behind my background. I'm saying this because how everything played out from the beginning all the way up to now. I contemplated over the moves that the state used to hinder my character to fit their benefits. First, they blast my name widespread coverage, negatively nonstop on the news, in the papers, and all over social media, and even on posters. This made me vulnerable towards animosity towards the public and guaranteed people to have a bad image of me in their thoughts. So if I chose a jury trial, this pretty much polluted their thoughts about the type of person they wanted to image me as. And all this went global for their support. Now I'm guaranteed not to get a fair jury selection for trial, and even if I chose a bench trial, it would be sealed with a guilty verdict. So where is the equal liberty and justice in the system when you're being railroaded? By the police, the detectives, and others working hand in hand. It really don't take no rocket scientist to see through this magnetic picture. Through these series of events, I know I've been railroaded, so either way, the state had the odds in their favor. The state produced 900 exhibits offered into evidence. I can honestly say I've only seen 35 exhibits before this trial, but I was given 665 exhibits during trial to have for my records. I never had the opportunity to look over 90% of any of this for preparation for trial, but this includes footages as well. So this is what the courts had to offer me. All this was new to me during trial, but I believe the 700 exhibits offered was the shortcut. I believe there are others that the state didn't provide, allowing a definitive preparation for trial by deception by deception. So once again, where is the equal injustice in the judicial system when you're told you can't speak, especially when you see the state ain't playing fair? I do remember being transferred from Davenport to Clinton County Jail behind the bad publicized coverage. I remember a couple things taking place while I was being there. First, I asked for a change of venue behind the negative news. I also made the comment, man, they're never going to find her because it's been quite some time. As the time progressed, that even made it even slimmer. I also was going to represent myself because all the attorneys that the state was providing wasn't doing nothing in my case. So I just wasn't about to do nothing as well. So I at least was going to try to attempt pro se. When I seen the judge, he made the comment saying, I have no problem opposing this time on you. You need to reconsider your decision because you're facing some real serious charges. When I seen the look in the judge's eyes, I knew then I had to get a jury trial. But through the news through the news coverage and the news confirming this I know I had to get a jury trial, but through the news press coverage confirming this verdict with the high profile in this murder case. So my chances of winning even with a jury trial was slim, and if you don't have the right attorney, it's even slimmer. I was told by a birdie that if you have this case heard in any remote area where this is being televised, you would be found guilty, and this was by the state's own officials that uphold the laws. So once again, where is the equal liberty and justice for the system for all? This racism this racism do run deep in the Iowa system for people of color, which I'm not only talking blacks. I know whites also have the same problem as well, but it's more common for the people for men of color. But the profile racism that I'm dealing with is behind my background. And almost 75% of their news coverage, they mention my background or something in regards of that nature. If I didn't have that, I would have never got charged. When I was in Marshall County, before this trial began, here they go again, sliding negative news coverage of my background a week or so before my jury selection was about to begin. I said something to my attorney, which all he said was, there's nothing we can do about that. I made my mind up that if they're not going to play fair and I can't get a fair jury selection, I should just take my case back to Davenport. Once I was transferred to Cedar Rapids County Jail, before my trial, the day of my trial, here they was again mentioning my name on the news again. I really don't know a lot about the laws, but I know enough when I see a lot of my constitutional rights being violated from the beginning up to now. Through this racial profile, the state and others have shown ambiguous behaviors that sought constantly through these drawn lines. But what can you do when you're told you're not allowed to speak? I can only play with what's provided by the courts and the state's rules. Me and my family tried to contact my attorney on several different occasions, which I was told that he was working on the other client's case. To you, Judge Latham, you handpicked my attorney. I went through 3 different attorneys, but the handpicked one was my last option. I'm not going to bash my counsel because I know he personally did more than the Davenport public pretenders. But I know he overlooked some things in my case. I'm not quite understanding how I wasn't given 665 exhibits or seen any footages before this trial. He did make me believe he was going to raise these issues, but I never seen nothing come forward. I've asked several times, but was told you have nothing to worry about. I was being bamboozled by the blind side while nothing was being introduced or brought to the surface. I really don't know if this would have made it different because the judge was just looking for any reason to get this verdict. I can truly say after hearing the judge's remark and while I was in Clinton and Cedar Rapids, the judge's demeanor spoke real clear to me of the courts, which made me realize that I never had a chance to win from the beginning. So once again, where is the justice in the judicial system when you see the judge in his own personal emotion, then you hear the judge say that everything made against you, he find credible, then tell you everything you said is a lie and untruthful, even when they know you know they lied. I do understand the power of the pen, especially when the power of authority is being abused behind watchful seers. I do wish situations were different, but the state has played dirty when they know they didn't have anything on me while I was their easiest target behind my background. I would have to say this is overwhelming, but I have to stay focused and grounded. I have more hurdles that I have to jump through, but I have to take things one step at a time. For those who believe this fight is over, guess what? Through my resilience, you will see me at the next checkpoint, God willing. My main focus is getting back home, but where is home after all this? Where is home? But right now I have to stay focused on what's more important. I'm only able to play with what's provided by help from those who are watchful seers as well. I know the court has played unfair towards me. I played this scenario numerous times in my head trying to figure this out, but I keep coming up with the same answer. You never had a chance from the beginning. So I say this to you, Judge Layden. What if you wouldn't have never found me guilty and found me innocent? What would have been the outcome from their perspective? Everybody have to report to somebody, but God is the final ultimate judge. I do forgive those who made past judgments against me unknowingly. Never once have the courts asked me about anything of the clothing or the shoes or during any of these allegations. I honestly believe that these items are not important, but it was just giving the state more ammunition to point a finger negativity towards me. Just like me not opening Andrea's door with my key to allow the police to walk into her residence. I don't have them rights for that. I don't pay no bills at her apartment to allow anyone access to her place. I didn't give no approval for her place for that. I didn't give no approval for a place that's not my place of authority to do. On the footage, I told him I checked, and he said, let's check. And then lied and said I told Andrea, and then he lied and said I said it was okay for him to go into Andrea's house. But I will have to say the video do speak for itself. I will have to say there was one person's statement that was consistent from the initial report to deposition to trial, and that was Miss Gardner, Aisha's mom. I do recall her talking to Aisha before I left with the kids, or I wouldn't have never left with either kid. I'm still stumped about 900 exhibits plus, and I'm saying plus because I've only received 700 and the state knows that the ones that would have set me free, they used deception and sabotagement, but made a mistake by giving me 665 exhibits during trial to go through and to cipher through after trial. I know I was given 665 because I counted them, which I've already had 35 before this trial, and which gives me 700 in total, except for the ones I gave my attorney when the state moved them exhibits to move things into mobile to fit their exhibits. I need that letter back, Chad, if you don't mind, the one that I gave you pertaining to Aisha. If I had 120 footage of video with 80% showing nothing, I can make a story up about any vehicle or make anything appear where I want it to be, especially if I'm able to take what I want to produce and the rest of it, produce the rest where, let me see, oh, my bad. Especially if I don't want to. Okay, and not produce the rest where nothing else is being presented but what I want the world to see. I know that they didn't give my attorney that information as well. I'm the one who said that I went to the quick shop, which was used against me. I'm the one who said that me and my son stopped by the mobile, which was used against me. If I would have got on the stand, you would have probably found a reason to use that against me as well. The only reason why you didn't use my son's statements saying he seen me kill his sister, it would have made every lie truthful. It would have made everybody lies untruthful, which you couldn't have that. So I say once again, where is the justice and equal liberty in the system? Why wasn't Andrea's initial statement video played? They played mine, they played Aisha's, they played DL's, and they played Jared's. I know the state, I know and the state know that Andrea's initial video recording says something totally different. That's why they didn't show them contents or produce that video, which I'm not quite understanding why my counsel didn't bring that forward as well. I'm not even sure if he even had that information because I never seen any footages but what the public saw during trial. I can speak for days about what happened, but since my attorney didn't bring up any issues on motions, what are my chances now? Even Jared's statement are twisted up. But like I said, anything the court can use to find his verdict guilty. There it is right there in the eyes of the public, racial profiling. When I was given them exhibits, I wrote the court during this trial saying with urgent attention, quoting case documents, law from the Iowa Law Book of Iowa Rules of Criminal Procedure, stating the following items and its reasons, but once again, it was overlooked by saying, I'm going to give both parties that information. You have to talk with your attorney. I know I'm not allowed to put case numbers, but I sent the statement of the following items of evidence in possession or control are necessary for preparation for the defendant to inspect copies, photos, or exhibits that the state intend to offer into evidence at trial or belonging to the defendant. From the law book, I sent consequences of failure to make disclosure of discovery, failure to disclose supplements or of early responders to admit, failure to disclose, or supplement. If a party fails to provide information or identify a witness as required by the Rule 1.5, the party is not allowed to use that information or witness to supply evidence on a motion or at a hearing or at a trial, unless the failure was substantially justified or harmless. It also says, if in disclosure of expert testimony, if a party must disclose to the other party of any witness, it is also, expert testimony, a party must disclose to the other party identity of any witness the party may use at trial to present evidence under rules of evidence, saying any exhibits that will be used to summarize or support the opinion. I also sent grounds for vacating or modifying judgment and material evidence newly discovered which could not be reasonably diligently have been discovered and produced at trial with official comments and accurate 1943 federal practice. I'm only able to do what I can just to be rejected or overlooked once again by everybody. When you ask your counsel when will certain things be brought up, and he tells you through other witness, but it's misleading of your counsel when he knows that the state is going to rest and there is no more witness to raise the issue, but he tells you different. But you are not allowed to speak during trial. My dearest son, you know I love you with all my heart. I know everybody distorted your thoughts where you're trying to figure things out in your own head. I'm sorry that you had to deal with all this abuse from those who made you lie about all these stories. I know you remember me, you and Bree counting money on the mattress up to $2,000. I was so proud of you because you was a fast learner. I know you are mad because you believe I lost your sister, but guess what? Your dad ain't mad at you behind the lies. I love you more than the lies. I know one day you will tell the truth, but even if you don't, I'll still love you regardless. Ms. Culberson, I also respect your initial report and your deposition, but somewhere along this course, your whole story changed like 360. I'm not sure what took place or what type of situation you might be in, but something made you spiral from out of the normal. You know I've never been violent towards you or showed any aggression. I've only been protective of you. That's why I was kind of surprised by the statements you made, which kind of had me thrown off the loop. Just please give my things to my family, and I'll leave it at that. Aisha, you said something in your deposition that caught my attention. You said you wrote me 15 letters from the beginning of this case. Well, it's sad to say, but I believe I might have only got 2 letters that slipped through the cracks that they didn't catch. They took them letters before I even had a chance to receive them. That was their intentions, to have you turn against me. That way it makes it easy for them to point a finger. I even gave this letter to my attorney. But the only time that I was able to contact you, and that's when I was in Clinton, I text you. I know you remember because you kept asking me, who is this? I never said who I was. I even text your mom number as well. I will have to say your initial and depositions are totally different from your trials, straight the opposite, which I know them people played a factor as well in that. So just for the records of the court, I wasn't in any shape prepared in addition for this trial. My resilience will continue to keep me focused and peaceful during these hard moments. I do have determination that through these challenges, I believe in the very definition of faith. My faith ignites hope in my heart to overcome these trials and tribulations. Right now, I'm the underdog rising through these misfortunes. I have to stay strong through this predicament. My God taught me failure isn't final. Your fight is only over when you throw in the towel. What initiates champions? The Almighty. My endurance is built strong like never before. My joy is beyond any experience I ever imagined. I will overcome this. I am encouraged that a power far beyond my physical ability will appear and give me spiritual armor through this fight of lies with truth that will set me free.
Ms. Cunningham, I see that Ms. Langford has left the courtroom. Would you like to address the court?
Your Honor, let me see. I think she's probably, is she coming back? She's coming back, Your Honor. Okay. Ms. Langford, are you ready to make your statement?
Ms. Cunningham, I would ask that you take the witness stands. I think that would be easier, please. Ms. Langford, you may proceed if you would just please state your name and spell your name for my court reporter.
Okay, my name is Aisha, spelled Aishia, Langford, Lankford.
You may proceed.
All right. Your Honor, my name is Aisha Langford, as I said before, mother of Breasia Terrell. Before I continue, I'd like to thank the court for providing me the opportunity for me to speak today. July 9th, 2020, exactly 3 years ago, since the last time I saw my baby girl, when I dropped her clothes off for her in DL after I got off work and showered and headed over to the Jersey Ridge Apartments complex. Once I got outside the complex, Breasia running out, smiling as she always does, a smile that can light up a room, any room. We spoke for a few minutes while she held her dog, Chloe. She said she loved me, and I watched her run around to the apartment complex while her lovely locks bounced away around 6:30-ish. Those are my last words with my baby girl. So I wrapped my mantle around her face. Her last words, she said to me, "The amount of pain I felt and feel that no mom should ever have to feel, because, man, that stuff hurts real bad in a different spot. I didn't even know it existed until you, Henry Dinkins, changed that for me. Broke my trust and emotions I had the day you took my baby girl from me and just gunned her down like she was nothing and left her and never said a word at all. It's really painful that a statement could bring so much anger. I have a number of questions for you, Henry Dinkins, surrounding that night that played through my mind every day. Did she want me? Was she scared? Did she see those gunshots coming? Did you shoot her while she was trying to get away? Did she scream for help? Did she beg you to stop? Did you see in her face when she realized she was shot the first time? What was her last words? Did you stay and watch my baby die? How long did she suffer? Did you watch the life leave from her beautiful hazel eyes? What did you do to my son? Why? Do you know the answers to any of these questions I asked, Henry Dinkins, while you sit in this courtroom as if this shit don't hurt you, watching you during these proceedings. That isn't right. You sit there with smiles and chatter during sensitive things and then tried to speak to me when you never once spoke to me after July 14, 2020. You remember. When I saw you in Scott County Jail telling me you didn't do this, but why you haven't said nothing then? Why? Henry Dinkins, closure doesn't exist here in this case. Justice doesn't exist here in this case. You didn't just take away my baby's life. You didn't just take away my baby's life. You took away everything from me. My family's sense of security, laughs, health, and potential. Potential for Breasia to be someone's wife. The potential to be a mother, a college graduate, prom, everything. my baby girl, Henry. I went from believing I wasn't the best mom, but made things happen, but best I could, to downing myself day in and day out as, what kind of person am I not to have protected my daughter? I've broken myself down many a times, over and over, analyzing text messages, calls, and conversations about everything, trying to figure out what I could have done differently. I watched my oldest son completely lose his childhood and be the cast of being the man of the house for me, because I was truly broken the day I got the call stating they found my daughter. I'll never forget, March 22nd, 2021, around 7:30 p.m. They told me they had information I have been waiting on. So that night, my tummy was in knots, and all I did was cry, and I held my pillow so tight, trying to hurry the nightfall so I could get up, so I could rush the kids to school and get on that highway near DeWitt, March 23rd, 2021. Once I got out there, it was a feeling I can't even describe, because it was the snuggle on my heart. Mentally, I was going insane because that was a different feeling in my body I wasn't used to. I kept myself covered from the media footage that was other, while I shed so many tears inside because I couldn't describe that my daughter laid behind those squad cars and big RV man. I couldn't do nothing to save her. All I got a glimpse of. All I got was a glimpse of a damn blue bag, man, that crushed my whole soul. I promise, broke me down, and still am. And my son commit to every hurt need I need, and still does. I watched my youngest baby become unrecognizable. At times, with the amount of anger he sits and holds to from this trauma you put him through, he's so hurt he has no idea how to even understand or even cope with the loss of his best friend, partner in crime, his sister, who helped him through so much of his life. He would too overcome this and gain himself back and be somebody. He will not be what you have put him through or even made him sit through. We are suffering from so much, with anxiety and depression at the top of our list. I can't work at times because all the trauma, on top of the world of things I encounter at most jobs, the social media crap, pushed me into a shell I haven't been able to shake quite yet. Our lives changed. 3 years went past us with no stops, right before our eyes. And here we are in this courtroom seeking the justice she deserved, so she could be laid to rest properly. Still yet, this all feel like a movie. I haven't changed the channel to, because this can't just be it. Like, that's all. That's the piece that sinks in and still hurt, because I thought hearing you get a life sentence with no possibility of parole will help me sleep at night. And it just doesn't, because she didn't have to be gunned down like that, nor left like that, out there like she was just trash. She didn't deserve that. She didn't deserve to have her lifeless remains shown across the TVs. Like she did. She did it, Henry Dinkins. So whatever you get won't be enough, because your family get to come to see you. And my baby is just that, just gone. And never, ever, ever coming back, as she left me July 9th, 2020. Peace, understanding, and forgiveness will never come. I also truly hope what you did to her will haunt you for the rest of your life. I'll hold onto those good memories we shared, and not how you left her, and how she laid across that damn creepy swamp place thing where you left her and said not one word. How could you? How could you be such a monster, Henry? I am thankful for the justice for Breasia, Terrell, and my baby boy.
Thank you.
Before
Before I proceed with my judgment and sentence in this case, I must address some of the statements made by the defendant in this case to the court. This court has provided the defendant with very competent representation during the entire course of this action. Actually, the attorneys representing the defendant in this proceeding and in this trial, his last counsel, are very competent. We're very zealous in the representation of the defendant. Couldn't have asked for better attorneys. The court made its decision based on all the evidence that was presented in this case. The court's ruling was based on facts. I find no legal basis to grant any of the defendant's motions for judgment of acquittal or new trial if that was the intent of some of his statements as a pro se motion. Because the defendant was found guilty of 2 Class A felonies, this court has no discretion on what the sentence shall be imposed. Rather, life imprisonment is mandatory. The court notes, however, that the defendant has an adult criminal record dating back to 1989. This history, coupled with the horrific nature of these offenses against his own child sister, requires that this defendant be removed from society for the protection of society. This sentence provides for both punishment and for protection of the community. Mr. Dinkins, it's unconscionable that you would take such actions to murder a 10-year-old child who was entrusted to your care. It is very clear to this court that you have no conscience or remorse for your actions. You blatantly lied about trying to find Breasia. You took no legitimate actions to find her. You knew exactly where she was. Due to your extensive criminal history and the fact that you removed Breasia from the place that you were authorized to care for her and then take Breasia to a dark, deserted area in the country and shoot her in such a horrific manner, supports the finding that the sentences to be imposed on both counts 1 and 2 shall be served consecutively. The court finds beyond a reasonable doubt the defendant acted with malice of forethought and willfully and premeditatedly and with the specific intent to kill Breasia Terrell, shot her on July 10th of 2020.
Justice for Bree! Justice for Bree! Justice for Bree! Justice for Bree!
Yes, I'm so happy. I was nervous, but I'm happy. Yes. I'm real happy. It still doesn't bring her back. It doesn't, not by a long shot, but I mean, at least I can start the hard part for the most part.
Go back to hell from where you come from.
Exactly, starting my journey as far as, getting myself together mentally and, getting my son back together, which I can't wait to go see him. We sat here day in and day out, waiting for this exact moment, and my emotional part was just the fact of just hearing, he's guilty. Like, it was already emotional because I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this since the moment, I got the call that, she's missing, she's gone, you know what I'm saying?
The judge sentences Henry Dinkins to 2 mandatory life sentences. 1 for the murder, 1 for the kidnapping. He'll spend the rest of his life in prison. After the trial, Breasia's family was finally able to lay her to rest. The medical examiner had kept her remains during the legal proceedings. Today, if you go to Davenport, Iowa, you'll still see memorials for Breasia. Community members still come to pay their respects. Her story touched that whole city. This case shows you how somebody can look you in the eye, someone you trusted with your children, someone who helped raise your daughter and commit the most unthinkable act, then spend the next morning trying to cover it up like it was just another day. Breasia Terrell was 10 years old. She loved to draw, loved to sing, loved being a big sister. She followed the rules and made sure everybody else did too. She deserved to grow up, deserved to live her life, deserved so much more than what Henry Dinkins took from her. If this case touched you, hit that like button and subscribe to Trending Tragedies. Drop a comment sharing your thoughts. And remember, trust is everything, but some people will betray it in ways you can't even imagine. Rest in peace, Breasia Terrell.